So on the 46 Dodge this time I'm working on all the air conditioning parts in the front, trying to get the AC condenser mounted, and I made that piece of tubing up on the top and boxed that in. So now I just have to put some tabs on to mount the AC condenser.
So now that I have this tube up here on the top and I have something to support my air conditioning condenser, I want to try to connect this to these roll bar tubes so it acts kind of like a core support. And since I have the radiator sticking out on this side, I decided I'm going to cut a little piece of that off and come across here with a piece of tubing and put a bracket on over here and run a 45 or a 90-degree joint right there onto that piece, and have two nuts welded onto this tube, and that will connect the whole front end of it together. So I wanted to point out this drill I got. I don't know if I ever showed this to anybody, but it must be from like 1945 or something, and it still works really good, and it'll pretty much rip your arms off. So I used that and the die grinder to make this part, or to make holes for this part down here. You can see I put weld nuts on the side of this piece of sheet metal. So here's the holes I stuck into the roll bar, and then I'm going to weld that piece of sheet metal all the way around the entire thing, so I have a nice flat surface to put my my 1-inch tube with a flange. So it'll look something like that when I'm done, and I'll get welds all the way around that. And I kind of like the idea of having a little bit of a flat surface there in order to put that flange, so that way it sits nice, otherwise there'd be a gap underneath of that. Okay, you can see I have this flange that I welded on there. Now I have two bolts with nuts in the back of that flange, so I can make a connection going from here over to here. I would have liked to have it a little higher, like up in there, but I can't do that because that's where the fender is. And so I'm just going to put a piece of 1-inch tubing on here and come out and straight over, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. And then I should be able to get a piece of 1/4-inch rod on the inside of this piece going all the way down here on the corner, and do a diagonal with 1/4-inch rod, and that should stiffen up the whole front end real nice. One other thing I wanted to point out on this was notice all the bolts are loose on this flange, and when I welded it I had all the bolts tight, and it really didn't move very much since I kept it, you know, where it was at, had it fixtured, because otherwise if it would have been loose, adding all that heat just in that one spot, it would have bent really badly. So you can see I added some 1/4-inch steel rods on there, so that way it doesn't rack to one side or the other. It'll help stiffen the frame a lot. And I added those two supports there with the flanges, and everything is really nice and stiff now, and I can get it all back together really easy and take it apart really easy. And radiator still fits in, and I can still fit my air conditioning condenser and my transcooler. So I'm pretty happy with all that. It's working out real nice. So I installed all the pulleys. I didn't tighten them down or anything. I'm just trying to figure out where everything goes. You can see I got the condenser in there and the radiator. And the only thing I had some trouble with is this power steering pump pulley. I can't seem to get it to go on there. It hits off the bracket. So I don't know if that hub is too far back towards the rear of the vehicle, or maybe the pulley's too deep. But I'm going to have to give them a call about that. But other than that, it fits. I could barely get the bolts in. So it almost looks like it was planned, other than this crappy looking hose, which I have to seriously do some work on the hose. And I got to try to figure out if I'm going to use some kind of a Paxton on this or something, if I can jam a belt up through somewhere, because it's awfully tight. I'm thinking maybe right here, if this hose is up further, I might have some room there. Maybe I gotta like mock it up and see if it'll fit, but that's the general idea. So there it is with the hood on, or I mean the hood off, and the front end on, and I got something going on here with this this thing here. I don't have the bolt holes in the right place, so it's like there's bolt holes everywhere where I need it to go, so I need it over that way some way. So I gotta do something with that. And other than that, it all fits pretty good like that. Probably have to cut some off of this thing. It's not needed anyways. But it's got clearance, so it's pretty good. In general, I'm pretty happy with it so far. And there it is with the hood propped up. And there's plenty of room. I could probably fit a Paxton about where that hose is, somewhere in here. And maybe a high-rise manifold. Haven't quite decided what I'm doing with the manifold and the scoop yet. If I'm going to use that scoop, I don't know about that. But definitely not going to run a roots blower, I know that. So that's it for now. Bye. So I got the fender on there and it's just sagging down. I don't have it bolted on. I want to show you what I stuck underneath it. This is my idea for the battery. I think it'll fit in there just fine. You want to talk about a really short starter wire. If I stick the relay right there, it doesn't get any better than that. So that's it for now. Bye.